welcome everyone. Welcome to B3U. It's yet another exciting interview with another piece of my heart, my beloved sister in arms, my sister, period, Miss Monica Smith. And I thank her for being on this show. So welcome, Monica, to
Thank you,
be.
Bree.
Yes, I'm
Thank
so
you. It's so
excited.
good to see you and just be able to do this interview with you. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to do it. So thank you.
You are most welcome. Look, this woman here is an amazing woman. So we're gonna get right into it. She is a retired Army veteran, mother of four and counting.
Yeah.
my wonderful, most loved brother, another piece of my heart. And so, Monica, I'm going to open it up for you to just give the audience a little bit about yourself, more than what I've given already.
Okay, so as Bree said, I am retired Army. I retired as a first sergeant. I retired in 2023. From that point, I ventured into another career, working with initially with Department of Energy and then transitioning over to the National Nuclear Security Administration. So I've been doing that job roughly almost a year, a little over a year and a half now. I also started a business, Altway LLC, in
Yes.
2020. I know, right? It's crazy. I started
Awesome.
that business in August of 2023, and since the inception of that business, I've my company has helped over 500 families either pay bills or plan vacations or mentor, whatever. You know, we what we do is we just like to support our community and give back to our. I like to not call them underprivileged, but underserved portions of our community. So yes,
Yes.
that's what I do.
And also author, am I correct?
Yes, I am an author. I did. Well, I co-authored a book in 2023, November 2023, and I'm actually working on right now a children's book and my a mini bio series. So hopefully, I've been
Awesome.
working on this bio series since I was a teenager.
Okay.
So when this does come out, it's going to be a huge release, and it's going to give people a insight into who I am and why I do the things I do and why I think the way I do, and how I was able to overcome a lot of the traumatic experiences that I've been through throughout my lifetime.
Okay. Well, with that, B3U is about burning, breaking, and becoming unstoppable and creating a successful purposeful life. So, can you tell us a little bit about your story and the trauma that you've overcame?
Okay, so I wouldn't call my trauma something that I've overcome. It is something that I feel like I heal a little portion of me every day, but it's not something that I could truly overcome or truly heal from. It's just something that I learn to live with and just learn to navigate life while accepting the experience and learning from it and taking it moving forward. So I use it to forge me forward in everything that I do. And one of those traumas is so, Bree, throughout my life, I was sexually molested by my dad. I had a kid for him when I was 15. Um, I was raped when I was in the military in South Korea in 2002. And no, a kid did not come from that, but literally, I was in a relationship, so that kind of had some there was some tug of war with my then he wasn't even a boyfriend. He was more like a supposed to be a one night stand kind of relationship type thing, right?
Right.
Uh, so, but that caused a little tug of war there. And then there's just different traumas that I've experienced. But one of the traumas that I do want to talk about is the one where I had to accept my daughter not wanting to be a part of my life. That my second daughter not wanting to be a part of my life. That experience is one that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And she had her reasons, and I respect her reasons for it. But it is one of the things that has been more traumatic for me than anything else that I've experienced in my life because
Mhm.
no matter what I do as a parent, um, Everything I've done was to protect them and to raise them out of love. But reality is through many, many therapies, I've learned that what I considered love, what I learned what love was, wasn't truly love. It was really surviving. So I didn't give them the love that they needed. I gave them the ability to survive. And that in itself, not understanding it, being so young, caused a huge rift in who I am and who she was, and then the relationship that we could have had. So, yes,
Right.
that's the trauma that I want to talk about today.
Yes, yes. Look, as a parent, it's hard being a parent, period. But
It
then
is.
was there a specific moment that you realized that you're sometimes you're not surviving? Do you find yourself just like how are you in your everyday like life? Because for me, like I tell people all the time, for me, and the same with you, for them, I have to get up every morning and pour into myself and stop
Mhm.
looking for people to pour in me or whatever. Every morning, it is a daily struggle or of surviving. Like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. I got to make it happen. And other than lay around in this bed and trauma, whether it be physical or emotional, and like you said, you really never get through it. You never get. Let's just say you never get over it,
Yeah.
but you do continue to push through it. And
Right,
that's
right,
what I
right.
wanted to, that's the kind of thing that I want to tell our audience is that you never really get over it, but you
No.
do strive to continue to get through it. So, was there
But
in a moment that you
it,
realized you wasn't surviving?
it was, and it was at a very, very, very young age. So, when I was molested, it started when I was like, I don't think I was old enough to even, I don't think I was more than like 4 years old when it started that I can remember. But I do remember feeling like I was less than and not a part of. I felt like the people that were supposed to be protectors of me were really not there. They were very hands off, and the people that the family members that knew about it that didn't do anything, um, I really didn't hold any ill will towards them, but I also didn't understand that it was wrong in that moment. But I knew as I got older, I knew I needed something to hold on to. And that's something that I held on to was God's word because no matter what, I grew up in church. I was I
Yeah.
was I grew up on my dad's side, they were Catholic, on my mom's side, they were Baptist. And then I went
Right.
to a Pentecostal church. So I had church, okay? Went to church a
Right.
lot, okay?
Right.
And that was like
Right.
my safe church was my safe haven. That
Mm-hmm.
is where I went. And so when they poured the word into me, I listened at a
Mm-hmm.
very young age. I listened to what was said, and then I held on to it. So I held on to hope because God gave me that hope. He was the only consistent thing in my life that never hurt me. So yeah, that's what I
See,
held on to.
that's right. Look, speak about it. Okay. I
Yeah.
look, some people don't believe that there is a God. And when I see or I hear this type of talk from people, I go, what? Because I know what without a shadow of a doubt, he saved me. He saved me.
Listen, Bree, it was moments where um I got it got really, really dark for me. And not just one or two either. I'm talking like they were, like you were saying, when you have to consistently show up for yourself every day.
Mm-hmm.
Even with God in my life, I still had those moments. But one of still a consistent thing was is he will never leave me or forsake me, and he didn't. All those things that happened to me, I didn't hold like anger towards my dad or anybody for it. I just didn't have any anger in me for it. But what I did have was compassion. I was
Mm-hmm.
compassionate about the situation itself because there's a part of the people that were supposed to protect me that were not protected themselves.
Right.
So, who am I? Who am I to tell them what they shoulda, coulda, woulda done when I myself wasn't old enough to understand? So I didn't hold any ill will towards them. But one of the things I did strive for is really once my dad went to jail, when everything was found out, I really still I had this kid, this baby, and I was afraid because I was like, oh my God, what happens now? What's next? And it was one of those things where I was like it was my junior senior between my junior senior year, I went into foster care with my daughter. I'm in foster care and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I got these people telling me, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need, all the things that I need to do, but they weren't aligned with the vision that God gave me for my life.
Mhm.
So I wasn't rebellious, but I heard them, but I kind of pushed them to the side because what they wanted me to do is they wanted me to perform for their church. And I was like, no, this is not of God. This is not what God told me to do. So I stood fast. Um and really just held on to God's word, and that's what really got me through a lot of those dark moments, a lot of the moments of I had suicide ideations. I
Mhm.
had suicide attempts. Uh, they were um, they were not successful because God had a bigger plan for me.
That's
And
right.
once God gave me my vision, there was nothing or no one that was going to interfere with that. I didn't care who you were. So yeah.
Now, that's right. So, look, one of the things, like as women, it's already hard being a woman,
Hmm.
Black woman, especially coming in the world. So, tell me how, because for me, like, yes, trauma before the military. Then tell me
Hmm.
how does the trauma that you've been through, and then you join the military, and then you're walking into another. Tell me how you dealt with what you already been through, and then you go into the military and you try to get through that. How was your the 21 years you said?
Uh-huh.
How was that
Oh no,
21 years?
23. 23.
23. I
23.
don't want to. I
Yeah,
don't want to
23.
take none away, girl. We
Yeah.
gotta give
Oh,
you those
girl,
years.
listen now.
We gotta give you those years,
Yeah, give
okay?
me those because that experience was something else.
And
I tell you.
how did you survive with you already was a soldier before you went in. I tell everybody that, hey,
Yeah, yeah.
the military is not for the weak. You have to be a special kind of person to make it through, and especially to do 23 years. So let's
So,
talk a little about the military.
got you. So, I want to back it up a little bit because
Yes, yeah.
from ninth grade to 11th grade, I was in JROTC.
Okay,
That was another outlet for me.
okay.
That was another positions of opportunity. So when I was in JROTC, I rose through the ranks real fast. Right.
Okay.
So I was leading my school's JROTC in 10th grade. So
Oh, okay.
um for me it was more so of I knew what I wanted to do because this was my outlet to get away.
Right,
I
right.
needed this was to get me
Mm-hmm.
away. The bad thing is I went into foster care, but the good thing was that I went into foster care because
Mm-hmm.
that gave me an opportunity to leave my baby with safe people that I
Mm-hmm.
knew she was going to be safe with. Now they were not the greatest, but they were safe. So once I joined the military, I went to Korea, and that's where I was raped at. I took that experience, kind of like I took the same experience, or same approach to the experience with my dad. Is the people that were there supposed to protect me did not protect me. When that happened, the army did not have a sexual assault awareness program at all, at all. So they sent me to the EOA, and the EOA sent me over to the IG, and the IG sent me over to 121 Hospital, Yongsan in Korea. And then I get to the hospital and they say, "Well, we don't know what to do with you." So they check my vitals and sent me back home. So I had to go
Wow.
back. I had to go back to the room and face and still have to work and see my perpetrator
Mm-hmm.
on a daily basis. So having to deal with that was kind of like having to deal with my dad, having to see him every day and really have to, put myself in a place of authority. So one of the things that God gave me was a divine authority. That was one of the things when I was younger, he gave me divine authority. So I used that authority that he gave me to really pick myself up and keep pushing.
Awesome. So, what was the most surprising part of your healing process? You're coming into the healing.
Really learning my voice.
Yes.
Learning my voice. It's learning my voice and really recognizing who was looking back at me in the mirror.
Mhm.
That was hard
Mhm.
because I went my whole life being silenced.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a it was a huge secret. Like you can't tell anybody. If you do, then they're gonna put you in foster care, or they're gonna put you in jail, or they're gonna put me in jail. And
Mhm.
what's gonna happen to you then? Don't nobody want you. All these things are
Going.
still going through my
Mhm.
mind. But with when I tell you suppressed,
Yes.
suppressed it was divine authority suppressing it. So
Mhm.
I never let that thing I let it, I heard it, but I never let it resonate with me. So that was one of the things, and one of the things where I learned my voice was last year,
Wow.
July 7th, 2024.
Right.
We threw my mom a 70th birthday party.
Mhm.
um And I was just so excited to be there. Now, this is a few months after no, about a year after my daughter decided she wanted nothing else to do with the family, and we were okay. It was just one of those things where it was, we're going to respect your space, and, we're going to continue living life. Well, she showed up to the party. No problem. I just told my other kids, I said, you guys, wherever she goes, you go the opposite of her. Just stay away from her. Let her do her thing. And you guys, we have to be able to really make peace with what's happening because this is real. This is her wishes, and we're gonna respect it. Long story short, my two middle kids got into an altercation, and instead of my mom stepping in to mediate the situation, she encouraged it. She encouraged it. And that day, after years of begging for a relationship, years of really understanding, really trying to accept, you know, who she is, because I had this ideal in my mind of who I wanted my mom to be, who I needed her to be.
Mhm.
But I had to accept last year that she would never be that. And that was a hard pill to
Yes.
swallow.
I
And
bet.
in that moment, that was the forcing function for it.
Mhm.
Okay, I love you. But right in this moment, I
Mhm.
am going to grieve you. And when I hang this phone up, I will never speak to you again. And I had to really accept that who I wanted and who I needed would never be that person for me, would never be a safe person for me. Um, I should have known. I mean, years and years of years of not being protected. It was like it all came flooding back to me in that moment. That okay, Monica, your mama knew what was going on when you was a child. She left you there. I had never thought that, Bree.
Mhm.
Never thought that. I was like, and it wasn't until then that it just registered like, whoa, this person really abandoned me. In these years after I joined the military, I've been begging for this relationship, and
Mhm.
it's been solely transactional. Solely transactional. And when I say transactional, I'm meaning financial.
Okay.
When I joined the military, my mom, she after my daughter was released from foster care, she went with my mom, and my mom had her. So we had a joint account. That whole first year in Army, probably first year and a half of my military career, I don't think I saw more than $100 out of my whole paychecks total. And I accepted it because she had my kids. So I was like, I'll go without so that my baby can be taken care of. So I get to my second duty station, and when I get there, I tell my NCO, a matter of fact, correction, I didn't tell him. We had a hell and farewell, when we greet and release
Yeah.
soldiers from
Right.
the unit, right? We go to this Mexican restaurant, and they serve chips and you get the water for free, right? The chips and
Mhm.
salsa. So everybody at the table ordered food, and my NCO was like, "Hey, you want something to eat?" I was like, "No, I'm full. I'm not hungry." But man, you should have saw how I was tearing them chips up, girl. I was tearing them up. He was like, we got
uh,
back to the unit that day after lunch. We got back. He pulled me in the office and he said, "Oh, hell no, what's going on?" And I just unloaded on him. I just let it all out. It felt like such a relief to get it out. So he went to my commander that afternoon. They had my orders changed within a week, added my
mhm.
daughter to my orders, got me housing on post, furnished
Yes.
my house, helped me get a car, the whole nine. So at that point, I was 100% invested. No matter what happened in the army,
Mhm.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm good
That's right.
because they gonna take care of me. So yeah,
Right. Right. Oh my God.
girl.
I'm telling you, look, so was there a role that the military community or therapy in the military or or spiritual play or anything that was assisting in your breakthrough?
I think just having somebody care, just
Hmm.
having somebody care. I think that's what we all need. We all need somebody to care about us, and we're looking for somebody to really just care about us. With
Somebody to just care.
right, just
Somebody to
care.
say, here I am.
But here's the thing, but it not be transactional.
Right.
But it not be transactional.
Or something behind it.
Right? No, no, nothing nefarious. Just just care genuinely about me. And I felt that when I got to my second duty station, my NCOs was all on top of it. I could say
Wow.
I ain't cut my grass because they cut the grass.
Wow.
They really just took care of me, my whole command team. So yeah, I tell anybody if you having a rough time at home, go in the military.
Oh,
Cause go
look.
on in there because you're gonna get a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's definitely gonna happen. You're gonna have medical, dental, the whole nine. And I needed that for stability for my kid.
Right.
Just care.
I do the same thing, but I kind of slowed back. As you know, my youngest son
Hmm.
is now in the military. I fear for him because it's like, man, I'm the one who, just like you said, I'm just telling people, look, see what the military did for me. If
Hmm.
if you don't have, everybody is not college, college material.
Hmm.
Everybody is not, but what is, find something. If you're in a situation you want to get out, military ain't for you, college ain't for something. Find something. So it's just encouraging people every day. But like you said, military was one, and maybe not too much today, but it is one that I do say did help a lot of it.
But you know what, Brie, I will say this: no matter the political climate, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter the political climate, regardless of what decisions were made up top, those things were up there when I was a junior soldier, or even when I was a junior NCO. Those things were handled up at the Congress presidential type level, right? That
Yeah,
stuff didn't trickle down to us until I got to being a senior NCO. Then I started seeing the effects of what the decisions made up top can have for the people on the bottom.
yeah,
But
you're
outside of that, I equivalent it to um, being a civilian, right?
mhm.
You can die in the military. You can die on the streets.
That's ooh,
You can die on the street. So the way I've seen it is just keep foraging. Don't allow fear to make you hesitate on your goal. Just keep pushing.
that's true. I will agree with that. Fear and doubt are things that keep you back. And I remember when 9/11 kicked off, and I was like, and planes was flying and sirens was going off, and I was like, what the hell? And then we got back, and it was like they were talking about, oh yeah, we're getting ready to deploy, go to war. And the first thing I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And then when the time came, I mean, we did all the training, we did it, but it's a mindset change.
It
It's a mind.
is.
You have to put that fear and that doubt behind you because at that moment, I had my 5 babies. And I
Yes.
said to myself, 2004, okay, all right, let me tell you something. Now I had to put that street soldier from West Philly
Oh,
on
yes,
on
ma'am. Yes,
on the
ma'am.
forefront. And I said to my, and look, I ain't come here to die. I didn't come here to die for nobody. Because first of all, what they do, I don't even know what they did. I joined the military for a career, for a better life. Again, I was running from something. So I totally agree with you. When it's a mindset, and you just have to put that fear and doubt, because I meant that I was coming back home, because I ain't dying for nobody, especially when I ain't do nothing.
But here's the thing, Bree. Here's where I differ a little bit. I was willing to die.
Oh wow, for your
I was
country.
willing. I was willing. I'm gonna tell you why I was willing to die.
Please tell me. I got to hear
Because
this one.
these people have shown me so much love and so much compassion. It wasn't about what they was doing at the top. That didn't rattle me at all. But it was what they was doing at my level and right above my level. What they were doing to take care of me. So what they were doing is they were training me to go to
Mm-hmm.
war. They made sure I had a will in place, right? I
Yeah,
had life insurance in place. I had my
yeah,
beneficiaries in place. I had everything lined up. They helped me map it. So if I died, I knew my baby and my siblings. When I say siblings, I'm talking about the three younger ones, because the older ones, they were well into their careers. But them three younger ones, those were my babies.
right,
I knew that they were going to be taken care of. And that
right.
was what helped me. It gave me ease because I knew they would have financial stability to
Mm-hmm.
help my daughter.
That is awesome. Do
Yeah.
you believe there was a deeper why behind everything you went through, from childhood to military? Do you believe there was a deeper why?
Yes, because I feel like now my dad was a shit person for what he did to me. Can I say shit? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you can say shit. Girl, this is YouTube and podcast. We can
Okay.
shit fire all we want.
Okay.
Shit
Okay.
fire. Go ahead, girl.
He was a shit person, but Bree, let me tell you about this. And this is why I'm able to separate the good and the bad out of people.
Yeah.
Um, the values that I have, that the
Mm-hmm.
work ethics, all that was him. That was all him. He had us. He taught us how to change, how to rebuild a dang on motor. Okay, in the
Mm-hmm.
vehicle, we learned how to build dang on sheds. We learned a whole lot from this man. He gave us qualities that we otherwise would not have gotten. So yes, he was a shit person for what he did, but the values that he gave me, those core values that Bree, they were untouchable. They were untouchable. So no matter how I had to, I really um appreciate the values that he gave me. I hate what he did, but I appreciate the values.
Yeah. I agree with that too. If it wasn't for the abuse and the trauma in my life, that's why I say everything that happens in our lives is building blocks. Everything is building blocks. And so, what would you say to someone who feels like their pain has no reason, no meaning, or their lives have no meaning? Because there are, and that's the reason, again, I say for us come together would be for you. There, I'm sure that there are people, men and young women all over the globe, who have experienced something similar or something different or whatever. So what would you say to that person who feels like their pain has no meaning, like they'll never make it nowhere, they'll never get nowhere?
So there's if you are God fearing, and if you believe in God and you know he has a plan for your life, then there's a purpose for you. And that purpose is not, it's not always going to be the same purpose. It'll change. So it's already written. God already knew these things were going to happen to us. And but they didn't happen to us, they happened for us
Right.
so that we can be a vessel for somebody else. So
Mm-hmm.
everything I experienced, had I not learned how to not just go through things, but how to grow through things, had I
Mm-hmm.
not learned how to do that, then I could mentor at-risk youth. I could mentor my own kids. I couldn't mentor the people I work with. I couldn't build people and help them be better them. I couldn't do those things had I not experienced all those horrible things.
Right.
Because
So
I've
let me
never,
ask you.
but see, Bree, you won't see a diamond just outside at its natural state without going through something, right? It's
Right,
pressurized. It's a lot of pressure that
right,
happens to build that diamond, it's created, right?
right.
So in order to shine, you got to get
You
through
got,
darkness,
get,
got to
you,
go through that
you
pressure.
gotta get that pressure.
You got to
That
get that
pressure. Yes,
pressure.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But so there's a lot. Me and you, okay. Again, I would same similar story. I was born a Catholic, raised a Baptist, and my mother decided to marry into Islam. And, oh Lord have mercy. So, but people like us, okay, we were born into that belief of something. What
Mhm.
about for those who don't believe, who
It's
believe in science or to believe that some, honestly, I talk to some young people
hmm
and they just don't like, look, even my baby girl, my youngest baby girl,
hmm
and I don't know, I don't understand because I took them to church. I had my children in church, sun up, sun down. You know what I mean? And then, she did it. I will say that she's transitioning now. But what do we say to these young people who don't believe that in a spirituality? What do we say to them? How can we make
if
them understand?
if they don't believe in God, they believe in something.
Right.
They believe in something. And so whatever they believe in, that's what we give them hope to hold on to.
Mm.
Hold on to what you believe. Because no matter the sun come up every single day.
Yes, it does.
And we have ways to explain it through science. We have ways to explain it through the physical portions of it. We got all the ways to explain it, but everybody has a different thought on how it come up.
Yeah.
So whatever you believe in, whatever that is, hold
Right.
on to it.
Hold on.
Hold on to it. Just hold on because, you know, regardless of what happens, that's your hope right there. And
Yeah.
that's what's going to help you get through. And one of the things that I did is when I was going through all my, and this is why I have a mini bio series I'm working on, is because as a teen, I just took to writing. I wrote. I have tablets, kind of tablets like notebooks.
Yes.
Like I got, I mean, probably 60 plus notebooks of just journals from when I was a child all the way through my adult life.
Right.
All of that stuff is there, and it just, and I can go back to it, and I can see what was happening. I could read that moment
Mm-hmm.
and understand now what was happening in my head in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I hit a moment, when I hit another stalemate, another wall, I use one of those moments to jump that hurdle, to
Right.
get over it. So just hold on to hope. Hold
That's,
on to it.
and one thing I say is, you know, if you don't have something to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and like do a deep dig with yourself. Like really just take the time to sit down and say, what am I worth? It got to be something better than this
So,
because that's what I would do. I would like, even though I was defeated uh, mentally,
mhm,
because I suffered a lot of mental abuse, and it's like I had to sit down like this ain't. I know that this ain't it.
mhm.
This is not it. This is not it. So that's another thing that I say to people who like don't believe or don't know which way to turn or whatever. And I love your thing about the books. And so is that a way that you protect your peace and energy now? How do you protect your peace and energy? Is it
So
through writing?
I don't protect my peace, Bree, at all. I don't protect my peace at all because
Okay.
I know who protects my peace. It's
Okay.
not for me to protect. So
Okay.
one of the things that I had to learn about myself, and I like what you said when you said reach back into you,
Hmm.
no, pour into you. It's hard to pour into you when you're an imposter to yourself.
Right.
So
That's
I had to, I there were times where so you remember in the army when you was learning drill and ceremony and they would say column left or something like
Yes.
that,
How
and you
left?
would kind of
Whoop.
like
Uh-huh.
flinch and you want to
Right.
go right or something, and they put
Right.
a rock in your hand. They
Mm-hmm.
put that rock or something in your hand. Say, okay,
Uh-huh.
this follow the rock, right? So um for years, and I mean years, I'm talking about even into way into my adulthood, for years I was suffering from imposter syndrome for real because I had
Yes.
created this image of who
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was, and it was a lie. It was a
Yeah.
lie, Brie. It was a lie. I would
Yes.
tell people like, "Oh, my family. I come from a good family. We love each other. All these things, right?" That's what I hoped for,
Right.
but I was an imposter to myself, so I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
pour into me because I didn't know who I was. So I would, if I had to lean on that rock,
Mm-hmm.
if I had to lean on that rock, that's what I was leaning on.
That's right.
So yeah,
That's right.
girl.
I was a master for in 20 January. Um, I realized that I couldn't take no more. You know, sometimes when we're going through things and we dust ourselves off, we get back up, but sometimes there comes a point where I just can't no more. I can't dust myself. So 2020 uh 2024, I would say January, I said enough is enough. So I do relate to that. And you know, if you was your younger self and you were still stuck in the pain and you could hear yourself now, you could see yourself now,
Hmm.
what would you say to that little girl, that little
Feel all of it. Feel it.
yeah.
Feel it. No matter how much it hurt, feel it. Go through it. Let
And
it resonate with you.
is that something that you would say to younger people now who
Absolutely.
don't see their way forward?
Absolutely. Feel, acknowledge that hurt. Do not bury it back and compartmentalize it.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up front. Acknowledge it, validate it, and then give yourself time to grieve it. But don't stay there.
Don't stay there.
Don't stay there. Give yourself, I would say for me, what I tell the youth is give yourself no more than 30 days to grieve that hurt. Let it really resonate with you. Write down however you want to do it. If you one of the people that like to draw it out. If you one of the ones that like to write it out.
Yeah.
But get it out of you. Bring it to the forefront. Because a
Right.
lot of these people can't afford therapy
That's
or
right. That
quality therapy. Let me
that
say
is
that.
so true. Quality
Quality therapy.
therapy. And that is the reason. That is another reason for the creation of this podcast for the create because a lot of us don't. You know, a lot of us don't. Again, I say that, yeah, you know, some people are not built for the military. So what about those who aren't able on Medicare or whatever? You know, there's some of my children aren't getting the good quality care because of Medicaid. So, you know, everybody needs a outlet just to, you know, and I never understood facing your trauma. We always want to bury it, right? Like, oh my
Right,
gosh, if
right,
I
right.
just bury it, it'll go away. I won't have to think about it. So I did masking for years and years and years. And
Yeah.
again, I'm 54 and I'm just walking into my life. I'm just walking into it. So, you know, I was telling my oldest daughter, she called me one day and she was crying. And, you know, I was, you know, mentoring her. And I told her the same thing you just said. Because at first I was like, you know, don't cry, you know, you're stronger than that. But then I said, no, wait a minute, baby girl, wait. I said, feel that thing. Go ahead and
Absolutely.
cry. You go ahead and cry. And that's for any, you know, as younger, what did they back in the day, what did they teach young men or boys?
Don't
Don't
cry.
cry. Don't cry.
Don't cry. The worst
Look,
advice ever.
the worst, you know, but we learn. I tell them, look, my son is 37, my 36. Look, cry that thing out, you know? Don't hold it in.
Yeah.
Don't don't hold it. Cry. Once you cry those tears and you get it, that's what I mean about once you cry, let it all out. Then you do a self-evaluation. and say what I need to do, what's next. You know, I
But
always try to go ahead.
that self-evaluation,
Self-evaluation.
it has to be an honest assessment. And the easiest thing to do to an imposter is to assess yourself as great. I'm okay. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need help.
Yeah.
Reality is, baby, you out here struggling and you got your homeboy, your homeboys, your homegirls, you got people there that's willing to listen to you. You got a significant other that you
Mm-hmm.
won't open up to because you're afraid to show the real you. Baby,
Mm-hmm.
let them out.
Yeah.
Let them out because this is a time where you guys are gonna either come closer or
Mm-hmm.
y'all gonna it's gonna drive you apart. And that person was not your person anyway. So feel it, validate it,
Feel it. Yes.
go
Feel
through
feel
it,
all of it.
go
Mm-hmm.
through it, acknowledge it, give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a name.
Yeah.
Like I named my traumas, okay? I
Okay.
named them.
That's a new one.
I named them. I named them because I want when I'm addressing Frank,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly who I'm addressing because I know it's you.
Yeah.
So guess
Yeah.
what, bro? You ain't got no control over that no more. Guess what? Who? Monica's here, baby. You can't touch me.
Right. Right.
You know.
Right.
So I'm acknowledging these jokers. I'm giving them names, and I'm moving forward. I try not to sit in it
Right.
because when I sit long in it, I give it no more than 30 days. If it's more than 30 days, then it's time for me to go get some extra help.
Yeah.
I need some
Yeah.
extra help. And I'm not talking, I ain't going to my pastor. I love him,
Yeah.
but I ain't going to pastor. No,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
bigger than you, pastor. You're
Yeah.
not equipped for this.
Right.
I'm going to somebody with years of therapy and specifically in what I need.
Right.
Specifically.
Right.
And it may not be the same therapist I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go, I literally right now have 3 therapists that I see
Right.
for 3 different things.
Three different. Yeah. That therapy is so. Some people I know back in the day, people would shy away from therapy, or it was looked at like a bad thing. But I had to realize that therapy is okay. It's okay to, you know, what do they call them, head shrinks and all that stuff. They made
Yeah.
it to see, made it to feel like it was a bad thing, but it
Uh-huh.
is a good thing to get therapy. And for those who can't, like you said, you know, not everybody in today's age, in today's world and age, it's like you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to trust. You don't know where to go. And I would say that if you don't know where to go, you don't know who to trust. Look, and you know, it's kind of hard how to, you know, talk to different groups of people because I would say for those who are believers, if you feel as though you can't talk to anybody, take it to the most high, and
Bree,
he
baby.
will answer the call. Because when you stop trying to do things yourself and you hit that rock bottom
Oh
and
yeah.
you have no more energy, no more tears, no more nothing. I remember many a times I just say I can't fight no more, and I just felt the sense and this peace of calm. And I was like, oh, it's going to be okay. And then it's like repetitious because at first you think like, oh, this is great. Oh, that was just something else. That was me. But once you keep doing it and you keep hearing that voice of God, this is for me,
Hmm.
and you keep feeling that sense of peace, it's like, okay, Bree, Lig it, let it go,
Yeah. Yeah.
let it go, because I like how many times we say, God, you know, when you gonna help me? We sometimes we feel alone in our trauma. We feel like there's nobody there, nobody listening. And I will let the audience know, like, look, this is my sister here, who she was so quiet at one time. I never knew the kind of person that she was until I saw her break out of a shell. And I was like, whoa, this what? Look, Monica, you
Girl.
know, she was so humble, always been very humble, to where people who are like you know, well, other people like, oh, I could get her. I could do whatever I want. And she's so
Uh-huh.
humble. She was gonna let me walk right over her. And I'm always a protector. So, but honey, baby, how they say?
Mhm.
I seen Monica bust. I said, "Oh, she good. She good." And so yeah, yeah, I've seen a transition within you yourself. I'm so proud of the woman that you are becoming. It's never too late. You're in your what, mid 40s?
Uh, I'm 43.
40. Well,
43.
sorry, excuse me.
43.
43. So it doesn't matter, like 43, 33. I tell my 33-year-old daughter, 33, 43, 54, there's always room for improvement, growth, knowledge. So it's never too late. I know I experienced some of that myself, like, oh my gosh, it's too late. I'm getting older, and you have to start. All this comes from fear and doubt. And we have to find a way through to silence that fear and doubt so we can start living our purposeful lives and learn how to burn the stuff that happened, break through, uh, I'm sorry, oh gosh, break through the traumas of emotional and physical pain and become unstoppable. Because once you get a hold on that thing, there's no stopping. Now you have a few little bumps, but you be like, you know what? Nobody can stop me because I'm not about to go back to where I used to be in my trauma and my pain. I'm not going
Right.
back there. So once you get
Right.
a taste of that strength, is no going back. Not to say nothing ever happens and I don't falter, but I have built a community, and you are my number one top notch. I go
Hey.
to, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you and you sharing your story with the public, because you know we shouldn't hide. As I've talked before, and I will talk more, how my first child was a rape baby. And for years and years and years, I covered that, and I stayed in an abusive marriage 17 years. It's because I thought that was my protector. He's going to protect me, but honey, ain't nobody have their hands on me like God did. But I thank you for sharing your story with us, and I hope that someone out there hears your story and says, "Wow." I hope they read your book. So tell me, what's next? What's
Well,
next for you?
before we move to that question, I have one
Yes,
other thing I would like to add.
it says go ahead.
Now listen, I love God.
Yes.
I love him with my whole heart. But I'm gonna tell you, there's times where I don't want to hear, bruh, this
Yeah.
ain't
Oh yes.
I don't want you right now. I
Yeah.
don't need you right now. Right
Yes.
now, what I need is I need
Girl, I gotta take my
somebody.
glasses off for this one.
I need somebody in this moment that I can talk back to,
Mm-hmm.
to give
Yes.
me some
Yes.
advice. And if I can't afford therapy, if I'm sick of journaling, if I'm sick of drawing, guess what I'm doing, baby? This is free therapy right here. I'm going to give it to you.
Go ahead. You see, I just took my glasses off. I just moved up close.
Okay, so they have Facebook groups
Mm-hmm.
where you can go post anonymously. And I
Okay.
just post it out there anonymously, and I just vent. I say vent post, and I just
Mm-hmm.
let it all out in that post, and I
Mm-hmm.
just watch people attack that post either with good knowledge or not so good knowledge. But I take it all in,
Okay.
because at the end of the day, it gives me an opportunity to respond back and forth with people who may or may not know how to handle people that may have been through it before.
That's right.
So there's those groups out there that you can do that with, and with technology on our fingertips. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have an excuse, baby. We don't need a true therapist.
Right.
Not all the time. We can go right there to Facebook or some little Instagram page, whatever, and we
Right.
could just go anonymous and put it out there. So I encourage you, if you don't believe in God, even
Mm-hmm.
if you do believe in God, if you just need another person's perspective,
Yeah.
post it anonymously. I'm telling you, it's helped me many,
Yeah.
many times.
Oh, trust and believe. There are times and that's why when I talk to young people or I talk to anyone, and not it's not always good to Bible read somebody. I don't want to hear that crap right now. That God going to handle it. God going to, is in control
Because
with
you get
my
tired of
bills.
it. You don't want to hear that because I've been depending on you, bruh. Now look, I'm still here. I'm
Right.
still going through this same crazy. I
Exactly.
don't want to keep hearing about God. And now I need some solutions.
Yeah, solutions and trust and I trust me. I was talking to a young lady and I realized in that moment that before I even I just listened and I said she don't want to hear God is in control, God's in, and then you know what? When I go through this, because I'm very spiritually connected, and sometimes God will say, "Shut your mouth,
Yeah.
shut your mouth." So all I asked her to do was hold on, hold, just hold on.
Yeah.
And those were my words. And it's just, and I'm still, still just when I talk to people, because I also have a nonprofit, as you know, the House of
Hmm.
Humanity.
Yep.
And I get a plethora of people, young women, a few men, and they're going through maybe abusive situations or whatever, because I provide resources for homeless, domestic violence,
Hmm.
and low income families. And it's a young lady who she just she's from another country and she's living and she's not in a physically abused, but she's an emotionally abused person. And it's like no place will take her is because they say that's not abuse. You got to figure it out and release her. So, I say, and when I hear the many cries, it's just hold on. She has an autistic daughter.
Hmm.
So it's just hold on. Hold on. Give God time to show you and work some things out. Use your resources. I'm here to help you. So
Hmm.
I do believe that, so you can't just force that on everybody. And then sometimes actions will speak louder than words. You don't want
Hmm.
nobody to Bible beat you, but just to, check on them,
Hmm.
somebody to check on you,
Hmm.
because as you know, I've been through many things, and sometimes like I don't want to hear I don't want to hear what I already know is going to happen. But and while I'm in this situation in this moment right now, I need somebody or something to give me that hold on. Something
Right.
that hold
Right.
on moment. So I
But then
do
we we
understand that.
we also have to acknowledge where we can help and where our help
Yeah.
extends,
Hmm.
right? So it's like when you are when you were in the military, you ever had a soldier that was just every he would pass from platoon to platoon, company to company, just a bad, so everybody, oh, he's so bad, he's okay,
Oh
he's
my
so this,
goodness.
right? And then they
Hmm.
put him in your platoon because they call you, they say, oh, you the rehab person, you know how to
Yeah.
get through to him. So they send you these soldiers, right? And these soldiers are broken, right? So they
Yeah.
have this victim mentality. And
Hmm.
you and all your wisdom, you're not trained to handle victims, right?
Yeah.
So you're not trained for that.
Right.
So what do? You get a resource for them. Okay, we're gonna call behavior health for you. We're gonna get you some
Mm.
help here. But while I'm helping you in behavior health, let me go over here to Army FAP, right? Let me
Right.
get
Right.
FAP on the line because I need y'all to give me some resources to help me help him.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it ain't all my strength. Because I
That's
don't have,
right.
I'm not prepared. I can help take you from a victim mentality to a survivor's mentality, and that is my goal. If somebody's stuck in the victim mindset, you don't want help. You just want somebody to help you stay in that mindset. If
Yeah.
that's where you want to be, I'm not the person to talk to, and I'm very honest up front. If
Yeah.
you want to be a
Yeah.
victim, if
Yeah.
you want to, my first question is how do you want me to help you?
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
if they don't know, then I can't help them.
Right.
You got to know what you need,
Hmm.
and then I can help you. But if you don't know what you need, I don't have the resource to figure it out because I'm not trained in that area.
Hmm.
So I pass you to another agency that can assist you
Right.
if you
Right.
want. But
Right.
yeah.
So, girl, what's next for you?
Oh, next.
And
Oh, so
how are you using your voice today? Well, we already know about Altway.
yes. So one of the things that I love to do is so I'm an introverted person, right? I'm very introverted. I like to be inside my house and I'm a little safe space. But um in the last couple of years I've been just talking to people. Just talking. I could see somebody in the store and I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? How that baby is? Oh, she's so pretty. And then we'll just
Mm-hmm.
strike up a conversation and then
Mm-hmm.
it'll go from let's exchange numbers. Oh, I got a resource for you, girl. Don't worry about it, type thing. So I love right now what's next for me is just if the stock market act right. but
Oh gosh. Uh-huh.
but one of the things I want to do within the next 7 years is I am going to retire. I'm
Okay.
gonna retire. My husband is already fully retired. He just at the house with the babies. But
Right.
I'm gonna fully retire, and I'm really gonna be more available to reaching out to my community and really just being available for the people that need me.
Right.
That's what's
Right.
next for
So you
me.
are in what part of Georgia?
I am in Augusta area.
Augusta, Georgia. And
Yep.
Altway, how can if somebody needs help, how can they reach do you have a website?
I sure do, and I can share it in the chat. I'll share it in the chat
Okay.
if that's available. But yes,
Well, it also so some people will be hearing, so they won't be able to see. So what?
I don't remember it off the top of my dome. I got it saved.
Okay. Okay.
So I got this
Well, look,
QR code, but it's on the phone that I'm using to talk to you right now.
well,
But
that is fine. That
yeah,
is fine. We'll be
but
able to do it
no,
again. But I think go ahead.
but nonetheless, I'm specifically available right now to just the CSRA community because that's
Okay.
where all my resources lie.
Okay.
I'm trying to extend into South Carolina area because that's also part of the CSRA. So I'm
Okay.
trying to extend over there, but as you know, that takes resources and a lot more time.
Okay.
So
What is CSRA? So
oh,
they
Central Savannah River area, and that
okay.
is Augusta, North Augusta, Grovetown. It's a combination of Columbia, Richmond, and I forgot what North Augusta counties.
Okay.
So it's a combination of those three.
Well, girl, thank you so much for interviewing with me here on B3U. I pray that your story has touched or reached or empowered somebody because that's what we are here for. We are here to empower those who are broken. Okay. Not to say we're going to fix everybody. And like you said, that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Hmm.
So I pray that whoever is out there today and you heard our interview, I pray that you all take something from it, whatever your trauma, your emotional or your physical trauma may be, or what level it may be. Some people have trauma that level ain't this deep or whatever, but I hope that you have a sense of healing or how to heal and a way out. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And Monica, thank you so much. And I hope to, or we not hope, but we will see each other soon.
We will. We will.
That's
Absolutely.
it for Bree Charles on B3U. Thank you, everybody, for joining.